Imagine being fired from your job for advocating for safety, only to meet your former boss years later and realize that dismissal was the best thing that ever happened to your career. This is a story of how injustice became triumph and how revenge is a dish best served cold and incredibly successful. The story: Success is the Sweetest Revenge. 3 years ago, my career as a stained glass artist came to an abrupt end. I was working in a studio, creating unique designs and painting glass, but my main crime was being vocal about safety. Coming from a studio that took safety seriously, I was put in charge of it. I meticulously studied OSHA manuals and constantly pointed out the unsafe practices we encounter daily, working with lead, acid, and other harmful materials. Despite my numerous suggestions, most of them were ignored. Years passed, and one day, during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, when my coworkers refused to wear masks, someone, it wasn't me, though my boss certainly suspected me, being the most vocal safety advocate, called OSHA. Soon after, my boss hired my replacement, removed my safety duties, and after enough time had passed to avoid suspicion, fired me. The reason given was lack of work, which was absolute nonsense considering they had just hired someone new. Clearly, it didn't add up. This was a place where my contributions and expertise were consistently overlooked and unappreciated. At the time, I was actively pursuing my own artistic work. Getting fired was a shock. I had no idea how I'd make ends meet in Los Angeles, but I did. In fact, that firing was the best thing that could have happened for my career. Last night, I randomly ran into my former boss at an event, and it turns out his studio is in terrible shape. He's been forced to cut everyone's hours to just 2 days a week. Many of them are actively looking for new jobs. He approached me and said, "I heard you had a show." And yes, it was true. I currently have a solo show up with a major gallery. I have over $30,000 in savings, and my work schedule is booked solid through the end of 2026. I looked at him, flashed a huge smile, and replied, "Yes, things are going really well." Success truly is the sweetest revenge. If you enjoyed this story of triumph over injustice, make sure to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. Share your own stories of how challenges led you to success.